Jasmine Jasovicius.
This is Matt, the Steamroller Frivola.
I'm Damon Jackson.
Don't forget to tap into the Darts Podcast.
Darts Podcast. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming through with some crazy wild kung fu techniques. Slick is murdered out. Mr. Plus is bombing hooks, and we are back on the Darts Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, looking for revenge after a wild spear card. Merab is champion. Slick, are you coming back for the books here? Because you look like you mean business. What's good with this getup?
All I gotta say is I had two of my worst weeks this year, being 15 plus units. The one time I did it, I brung out the black hoodie. Marvelous week after that. This time, I'm not playing no games. I brung out the ski mask. I brung out the glasses. The bookie's not gonna know I'm coming. Matter of fact, we coming, and we coming to smoke them this week.
Let's go.
That ski mask shit don't play.
Let's go, man. Paris. We're back in Paris, Mr. Plus, and we've had some exciting and very profitable Paris cards before, so we're back here. But speaking of Paris cards and French fighters, I mean, let's look back on last week's card and get some of your reactions. The Mexicans at Honorary Mexican Night totally got washed. I mean, oh my goodness. And first of all, Merab is champion. I mean, we all liked O'Malley. He got Merab. I mean, what happened?
They absolutely did get smashed. I mean, even Chiwi said he was hurt after the fact, but he's one that got the job done. One of the few that got the job done. Bro, you know who impressed me the most? Forget Merab, bro. Ignacio Bahamondes, bro. Those bro. Oh my goodness. And we all thought Manuel Torres was gonna easily just do his thing in there, bro. That kid, he's special. I like him. He keeps his distance. His fight IQ's high, and he knows how to go over and finish. So I was pretty impressed. And then, of course, I told you guys Valentina was getting her belt back, and she sure did. Wasn't very impressed with Sean. I'm not like everybody else saying he was flat-footed. I just think he lost the fight. He let Merab control it too much. And, I mean, whoever was working on his takedown defense with him could have done more.
There you go. He got Merab. I agree with you. And he's looking back. I don't know if he's trolling with the content he's coming out saying, oh, are you kidding me? I won rounds 1, 3, and 5. And I don't know if it's just like a joke to stir up controversy. I don't know if he seriously thinks he won the fight. He did not. I have him winning 5th, and that's probably it. Nonetheless, there goes Merab. Like you said, we were all on Grasso and Valentina doing Valentina things, just savvy win Slick. But the fight of the night, Ribovic Zellhuber injected into my veins. Holy shit, Slick. I mean, were you on the edge of your seat for that one?
I definitely was, man. That was just one of those types of fights that when you know it's Mexican Independence Day, that was a Mexican fight, man. Like between both, like Ribovic, for him being able to bounce back in that second and third round after Zellhuber basically outclassed him in that first round. Man, what a fight, man. You honestly could have made that fight either way. They gave Ribovic the nod for the late third round, I believe. So, hey, man, fight of the year. Well, not fight of the year because there was a help, but best believe that was fight of the night that night.
It's a contender, man. It's up there. And unreal that even Zellhuber survived that just on instinct, just moving to different zones, just hoping to miss and bobbing and weaving until he recovered and finished the fight in an all-time
I'm biased as shit. I had Zellhuber on a few tickets. I still think he won.
Yeah.
But yeah, total respect for Ribovic after that. I'm you can't knock the guy.
Norma Dumont basically beat the living shit out of Irene Aldana.
Yeah, she had as many stitches in her face after the fight as significant shots as Norma Dumont landed. That was insane. I've never seen someone have to get stitched from their lip to the top of their hairline. Holy shit, she got fucked up.
Yeah, one of the nastiest cuts you'll ever see. Shout out Cal. I so rudely did not introduce my guy Cal as well with Slick, with Mr. Plus here on the Darts Podcast. And we're going to get into the fights this week. Norma Dumont, I'm glad you guys, specifically Cal, pushed me over to that side because I ended up betting her by decision. And shout out to Aldana's toughness to make it there. Dumont put it on her. All right, guys, we have a UFC Paris card. This is what, the third, fourth event they've done in Paris now? And I was talking with Slick early on the live. You know, when they first open up in a new market, right? UFC France, UFC this new area, you back the fighters, the hometown fighter, right? The London fighters, the Canadian fighters, they all come through. But at this point, The Mexicans at the Sphere go down on Mexican Independence Night, right? And the British fighters bust the parlay. And at this point, I'm not too gung-ho on just backing hometown fighters. So with that in mind, let's start with a Mr. Plus parlay bust.
Mr. Plus, parlay bust, bet it all in trust. Jabs and hooks, it's all about the rush. Put it down on the underdog, never hush. Odds stack high, feel the thrill, that's a must. And I'll see you in that shit.
You got a two-piece for us. Bang, bang. 1-2 right down the middle. Give me two fighters that are going to cash us a parlay ticket.
It's time to drive the bus right into the cash counter. I've let you guys down in the past few weeks, but I'm going to get it all back here. And I'm telling you right now, to this Mr. Plus parlay bus. Let me say that again. This Mr. Plus parlay bus, it's a tongue twister, is a guaranteed 10-unit banger lock. I'll put my nutsack on this fucking play. There is no fucking way this play loses. This is a guarantee. I never give these out. Maybe once a year. This is not losing. Are we clear? We're good. Here we go. Both of these fights are on the main card. I'm excited to see my boys' reactions on this. I'll tell you, man, this guy's line was minus 150 2 days ago. Now it's minus 210. Give me Brian Battle for leg number 1. Oh, and by the way, this week's Mr. Parlay Bust, it's an easy 2-piece chicken nugget combo sauce sandwich at plus 104. It's just too easy. It's double your money and get the fuck out. We are going Brian Battle first leg. Bro, Kevin Jousset is not battle tested. He's about to be battle tested this week. Angelusa just got his ass kicked by Brian Battle the last fight before they called it a no contest. Gabe Green got his ass kicked. AJ Fletcher, his ass kicked. Do you see where I'm going with this? Battle by ass kicking. Yo, listen, even the Renat fight was an impressive loss, not getting finished by Renat. Renat Fakhretdinov is a good loss. Give me Brian Battle, and that was 4 fights ago. Give me Brian Battle for the first leg of the Mr. Parlay Bust. That's my anchor lock. I'm parlaying him with everything this week. Leg number 2. This one, it almost seems easier, but it's not. But it almost seems easier, but it's not. I'm going with Joe Anderson Brito over William Gomis. Gomis is a boring fighter to me. He's got the knockout, but he's got the point fighting, but he's got no power, bro. Brito is one of the most explosive fighters in the fucking UFC. I'd say next to someone like Ilya Topuria, which I'd love to see them two fight. But this guy is better for the UFC. He's got the star power on the upcoming. He's got the absolute power inside of him. And bro, I can see him getting this done inside the distance almost easily. I don't want to say easily against William Gomis because he's not nobody. He gets wins. He figures it out. He's got a knockout or two, a lot of decisions. I'm just not a fan of William Gomis. I know Slick might be, and I respect Slick, but against Joe Anderson, Brito, no, bro. This is a bad mismatch for him. I think he goes out in the first round, bro. Brito by destruction. Again, Brito beat the shit out of Jack Shore and Jonathan Pierce. I think both of those guys would beat William Gomis. Just me.
There's the plus bust banger. He's throwing heavy units on it.
I'll see you when that shit cashes.
Tagline has to add on the end for it to cash, obviously. Brian Battle, Joe Anderson, Brito. 2 fighters that are both going to be on the main card that I'm excited to watch fight. So the first one he's bringing up, Slick, is Brian Battle, someone that we've been watching since The Ultimate Fighter. And he's always in fun fights, man. The guy is not afraid to trade punches. He's gotten better and better. Striking continues to improve. He's got crafty grappling, some slick chokeholds he's pulled off. I remember on The Ultimate Fighter, ninja choked Andre Petrosky, showing off that he's got a pretty complete MMA game. And yeah, Mr. Plus brings up that he, in a loss in the UFC against the beast Renat Fakhretdinov, he battled and showed toughness like his namesake just to not get finished. And even in a fight that he was clearly losing, he refused to quit and give up. And you always like that to see just like his mental makeup is there as he's a real fighter. So against Kevin Jousset, opponent worth some credit. I mean, Jousset's impressed me so far in his UFC. Plus 145 dog for Jousset. Do you think he's going to make this a close fight with Battle at least, or do you think Battle smokes him?
I think he's gonna make it a little bit close in the sense that he's gonna put out good volume. But the one concern in this spot that a lot of people don't know is that Giuseppe is way more hittable than what his stats or whatever anything suggests. Like just in his last fight against Kiefer Crosby, Crosby landed damn near close to 30 punches in just that first round on him. And that's a little worrisome, because you got a guy in Brian Battle that he's gonna implement his good striking. His long range striking is real good. You seen him get that nasty head kick. And the one concern about Giuseppe is if Brian's Battle piecing you up like how Kiefer Crosby doing, is Giuseppe gonna be able to get the grappling going, get the wrestling going? I don't think so, because Brian Battle has shown that if he dictates where this fight is gonna go. He has great takedown defense. He has other than that Renat Facardina fight, because I mean, who doesn't Renat Facardina take down? So other than that fight, he has shown great takedown defense. And the one concern about Giuseppe for me is that when Battle lands a big shot and you try to shoot a takedown or something and he just sprawls you, how is he going to react to that? Because a lot of his fights, he gets cracked. He's able to get that takedown going. And then next thing you know, he implements his grappling. That is pretty good. But now you're fighting a top-notch grappler and Brian Battle. You're fighting a guy that's fighting your type of style and long-range striking. I don't believe Giuseppe actually looks good in this fight, other than if he's actually able to get the grappling going. So I'm not too high on him. I think Brian Battle is able to dictate the pace, dictate the volume, and I think he's able to just wear on Giuseppe that hasn't really been able to get. Like, he took Song Kanon to a decision in the sense that he had Song Kanon's leg murdered, and now he's fighting Brian Battle, who has good awareness on the feet, good grappling. Give me Brian Battle, man.
Yeah, I like the breakdown. I like the pick from Mr. Plus, and where Slick is agreeing there. I see it for him too. Like, ultimately, where does Giuseppe have the clear advantage? I think if Giuseppe wants to win this fight, he'll keep it on the feet, try to keep it standing. Like the guy said, I mean, Brian Battle's got low kicks, he's got head kicks, improved striking. I like his volume, I like his toughness. If they trade back and forth on the feet, I think Battle could win a kickboxing affair. If they look to grapple, I like Battle's craftiness in the clinch there, stays busy, throws knees, elbows. I mean, he's a good fighter, man. And he's got the X factors too, the cardio, the toughness, the mental makeup, like you just said. So that's worth a parlay piece for sure. Now, Mr. Plus, you think he takes it to decision in a good fight, or you think Battle can put him away inside the distance?
I think Battle puts him away. I agree with exactly what you just said. He's better on the feet. I mean, I know we're talking about grappling, but he's better on the feet. He's better in the grappling department. He might not be as physically strong, but technique's going to win all day. I love Brian Battle. I love his length. You're right, Slick. He loves the fight at distance. Man, for me, again, it's just like, this is an easy pick for me. He's won me money. I mean, I got robbed last time because the loser got called no contest, but he was kicking his ass, bro. Trust me, he's more mad than we are about losing that bet.
Yeah, he was spanking Lusa. So Brian Battle looking to finish the deal here in this fight.
Brashko, he said some crazy stuff on the microphone at the end of that fight, if you don't remember. Go back and watch the fight, see what he said, how he talked shit right to him. He's like, yeah, you want to keep going? And like, dude, it was crazy, bro. Brian Battle's a dog, bro. I'm all about that guy.
Yeah, he was not happy. It was weird, too. They called the fight off, and then Lusa was like, oh, what? I'm ready to fight. It's like, what? Now you're ready to fight? It was very odd. So yeah, it looked like he potentially took the easy way out, then tried to kind of lie about it. Battle knew. Battle's ready for some vengeance here in the form of a win over Kevin Giuseppe. The other leg, you should call this the ninja choke parlay, Mr. Plus, because Joanderson Brito has a sneaky little ninja choke in that fight that you referenced over Jonathan Pierce. Pierce was wrestling him, doing his thing, and then Pierce started talking shit. And right when he started talking shit, Brito gargled him, started making a snore with the ninja choke. And Brito's just got that savage strength inside the clinch with his grappling. And like Mr. Plus was talking about, with his colossal power, just bomb hooks. Gomis, a guy that I actually have bet on in the past, and I got lucky because Gomis couldn't make weight for one of his fights. Turns out I was probably going to lose that bet. I'm way lower on Gomis than I used to be. Slick, I don't know how he's going to keep off the power, the pressure, and the pace of Brito and outpoint him to a win here. I just don't see it. I see him taking damage. What do you think?
Yeah, I remember Mr. Plus said I might like Gomis. I'm actually the complete opposite. I really have deep hatred for this guy. The guy just fights so boring, so trash. Like he's not good. He's a kickboxer that sometimes goes to his wrestling. That's not good at all. I'm gonna keep this short and simple. Like I really hope Brito smokes him like within the first 3 minutes. So probably first minute if it can. So I understand Gomis can make this fight boring, but in the sense that they've been judging damage over control. Brito is gonna land the way more damaging shots by a mile. You got to think Brito is the more dangerous dangerous grappler in the sense that all he has to do is like probably go for a heel hook and he'll probably get the fight back on the feet where he wants it. So, hey man, Brito is my nah, I'm not gonna say my player of the week, but I'm gonna be betting him any way possible, hoping he gets a win.
And it sort of feels like he's fighting backwards here, so he should be able to get this win. I think so too. Maybe inside. Gomis would have to fight a perfect fight to win this, and I don't see him doing that. So there's a French fighter that I think is going to lose on French soil, and all aboard.
All aboard.
Mr. Plus
Sounds like we're
parlay
all
bus.
getting on the bus this week, fellas.
It should be.
Excellent.
I like that you kept it 2 legs too. Easy 1-2 down the middle, land both of them plus 104. All right, guys, let's move on. What do we have next? A fighter that I cannot wait to talk about on the Slick Report.
The Slick Report is monumental. Philly's finest cash angles essential.
And this one is a favorite of the channel, one that's music to our ears. He's back on the Paris card. Slick, who we backing as a dog this week?
Yeah, we're gonna go with Matt, the steamroller for Vola money line. Right now, he's sitting at like plus 100, plus 105 on some books. And this is a perfect matchup for him, I believe, in the sense that I know he's going to be able to get the takedowns. This guy has fought guys that's like taller than Ziam and Jalen Turner and Luis Pena. And in those 2 fights, he was able to get a combined 20 takedowns. And Ziam has been getting taken down by guys that's nowhere near the type of wrestler. Claudio Puelles took him down 7 times.
Wow.
7 times. Jamie Malarkey, a kickboxer, a stand-up striker, took him down 5 times. And then other than that, he just hasn't fought wrestlers. He fought Jai Herbert, a guy that's a long-range striker. And he has just fought Terrence McKinney washed him in the first round. He did Frivola too. But I just think a lot of people are looking at Frivola in a sense that he has fallen in love with the KO. And honestly, I don't believe that. I just think that he has fought guys that he doesn't need the wrestling. He doesn't need to go to the wrestling. He has fought guys like Drew Dober, who, in the sense that you have to knock out Drew Dober. You're not really going to win a 3-round wrestling fight with him. He's going to inflict damage on you. So it's going to be close. And he has fought Ataman Azaitar, like a striker that wants to strike. Now, whenever he has fought tall guys that he needs to take down, he has taken them down, like I said. So I think this is a good spot for him to get the wrestling going. I think he'll be able to inflict damage on the feet. And if this fight, if it comes down to really anything other than him taking him down, I just don't believe Ziam is going to be able to inflict damage on him. Ziam has a combined 0 knockdowns in the UFC, 0 knockouts in the UFC. So, and his 3 losses have come via submission. So this is just going to be a spot that I think the sneaky play for Vola is for Vola by sub. Maybe he gets an arm triangle. Maybe he gets something that maybe we've seen Ziam when he does get taken down, he does try to panic, try to get back on his feet fast. So I think this is a good spot for Vola to bounce back after that St. Denis fight. He took in the time off that we know he needed. That head kick was pretty devious. So I think this is just a good spot for him to really take advantage of Ziam's takedown defense. And Ziam, honestly, his last couple fights, he's been trying to get the wrestling going himself. Like he tried to get it going against Jai Herbert, and then obviously he didn't want to get it going against Claudio Puelles. So I think this is a good spot for Vola to bounce back as a plus money dog now. He was the favorite earlier on in the week, but I think a lot of people are starting to look at these French fighters, knowing this fight is in France, and try to back them. So I think this is a good spot for Vola to bounce back against a guy that I know he's going to be able to take down, and he's going to fight smart. He knows this is not a guy you want to stand and bang with. He's not the type of guy that he's going to try to brawl with you. He's probably going to try to get the movement going. So I like Favola, man. Give me Favola money line for the Slick Report. And honestly, you got Mr. Plus with the 10-unit banger. This is my 5-unit max bet of the week.
Wow, the fellas with some big bets on this UFC Paris card. You got to love it. Bold takes, confident takes, and Slicks here is Matt, the steamroller Favola. We got to love that, Mr. Plus, friend of the channel. How you feeling about him? I see plus 110 out there.
You know, I got to bounce real quick to go pick up the kid. However, I'll say my breakdown quickly before I got to bounce. I'm going to let the boys take over and do their thing. Cal, if we have to pause, it's all good. Whatever it is, bro. Check it. The steamroller Favola all fucking day, Slick. And it's not just because I'm a little bit biased because he shouted out our Darsh podcast. Shout out to Favola for shouting out the podcast. No, but it's not only that. It's really just the line is crazy. How is Ziam the favorite? This should be Favola minus 160 all day. All day, every day. That should be the line. The line is off. The line is fucked. So I'm taking the minus 104 or the plus money, whatever it ends up at. I think this is an all day, everyday pick. Favola's going to get inside, body shots, head shots. This dude will take you down. I could see an arm triangle, Slick, because he's going to be way stronger. The stronger guy in the octagon. Bro, give me Favola. I don't know how many units I'm putting on it yet, but this is a big play for me too. Maybe 3 or 4 units straight up, Slick, all day, every day. I'm not telling you guys to parlay this with the parlay bus, but if I would have had to add a third leg, this would have been the third leg anyway. Just letting you know.
Major confidence.
I'll be right back, my boys.
There you go. Mr. Plus going to pick up the dollar, going to do fatherly duties. And both of them, like in the steamroll for Vola, well, let me make it a unanimous decision, baby. I love the points and breakdowns here because ultimately, yeah, like Slick said, no knockdowns, no knockouts. Is Ziam really going to get Fravola's respect in the striking? Favola is a guy that will march forward. And unless you Benoit Saint-Denis head kick him, or you're, someone like Drew Dober who, by the way, he knocked out, who can stand and trade with him, someone like that's going to be able to starch Favola back, get his respect, and then put the fight back on your terms, you're going to be in his world. He's going to pour it on you and potentially drown you. And I don't think Ziam, who's grappling, like Slick said, is coming along. He's implementing his grappling. If Ziam looks to do that here, I think that would be a mistake. I think he'll end up on bottom and maybe ground and pound comes down on him. Maybe, yeah, like Slick said, maybe gives up his back a little bit too quick, trying to build a base, get into his knees along the fence, and Favola jumps the back, steals the fence from behind him, and threatens a rear naked choke. I think Favola can bounce back here. It's a big step up from Benoit Saint-Denis back to Faris Ziam, and perhaps, like Plus was saying, he's only the slight favorite because he's the hometown favorite. Another French fighter, I think, is going down. So, Slick, I love it. The Slick Report, Matt Steamroller Favola. It's only right, man. Slick donates to a charity that Favola is supporting. Favola shouts out the podcast. We become friends. Favola starts cashing. He comes on the pod. We interview him. This is how the universe works, guys. All right. I guess it'll be my turn for the Brasco Breakdown.
Brasco's Breakdown.
Brasco Breakdown. I love this track that Cal hooked it up with. Absolute fire on the intro tracks, Cal. Appreciate you, bro. And I'm going to go with a little two-piece action, too, but it's not a parlay. I'm going to give you 2 straight bets, both money lines on the prelims that I feel are worth attacking. Number 1, Victor Altamirano taking on Daniel Barres. And I think Altamirano gets a bounce-back win. You should grab him now. I got him minus 115. That's up to minus 125, and I think the line's going to continue climbing. Altamirano got completely robbed in his last fight. Luckily for us, because I had Felipe Dos Santos in a parlay. He did not win that fight. He gassed out at elevation. Victor Altamirano did not. He had more volume. He had more pace, more just takedowns, everything. He did more in that fight, yet he got robbed. And he's a guy that will just never give up. He never quits on himself. He stays busy no matter where the fight is. Even if he's on bottom, he's throwing elbows. He's scrambling. He's trying to work for butterfly hooks. He's throwing up random submissions. He's always doing something. And you know that judges score activity. He makes for fun fights. He stepped up in competition, lost to guys like Tim Elliott, couldn't quite hang. I mean, those are good veterans. And I don't think he's that high level. His striking isn't that technical, but Slick, he's just never not working. And he's got toughness. He's got cardio. His opponent, Barres, is a good wrestler training out of Intram Gym. So I always like guys coming out of there. But he doesn't keep guys down. He's a wrestler that can't necessarily keep control. And against a scrambly guy like Altamirano, I just don't think he's going to score that much. I think Altamirano will outscore him. So give me him for the first one. And then another bet I like on the prelims is Ivan Urslan in a weird light heavyweight banger. He's taking on Jan Kutalaba, the Hulk, crazy fighter who's dangerous in the first round. We know about his crazy power, his nasty squeeze on his chokeholds. But I feel like he's on the back nine of his career, man. I think his best days are behind him. And he's taking on a guy debuting here, coming in from KSW, who produces a lot of pretty good strikers and kickboxers. Dricus Duplessis, one of them. But I like his striking. I think he's the much more technical striker. He's got crushing power in his overhand shots. These guys are going to trade in some weird exchanges, and I think Urslan ends up finding the mark and cracking Kutalaba. If it goes into deep waters, man, Kutalaba starts to fade. I got to favor Urslan if it goes into the second or third. I think he gets a debut win. Kutalaba, really? I mean, what do we do with him? Let's get the debut guy a win, see if he's an interesting light heavyweight prospect. Give me Ivan Urslan at plus 100, another good line. There's two fighters worth backing on the money line for your Brasco breakdown. Victor Altamirano, Ivan Urslan. Glick, let me get your take on Altamirano first. What are your thoughts on him? Can he get a bounce back?
Yeah, I really like Altamirano in this spot, man. This is just going to be one of those fights that he's just going to be able to wear on Barres. And one concern thing that I didn't like about Barres in his last fight is that 3 of his 6 losses have come via sub. And that's a concerning for me in this spot because a lot of those sub losses that I've seen, especially his fight against Jafel Filio, he just ends up gassing out trying to kill these guys in that first round. You know, like he tries to go all in that first round, and then next thing you know, he ends up gassing himself a little bit in that second round. That's where people are going to be able to take advantage of him. You know, Jafel Filio hit him with a nice body kick, ended up getting the rear naked choke after he ended up getting the knockdown in that fight. So I think this is a good spot for Altamirano to just wear on a guy like Barres. Barres is probably going to try to go all in that first round like he always does. And Altamirano, one thing we know about him is that he's as durable as they come. So I think this is just going to be one of those fights that Barres probably tries to go all in. Altamirano gets like a late second or third round finish. So yeah, I'm definitely going Altamirano in the spot.
I like it, man. He's very durable, man. And it is funny you say that. I'm looking for if he has any submission wins, if I want to maybe take a submission chance on Altamirano. But I think he could wear on him and end up just kind of drowning him. Let's see. Maybe that's the play. We'll see when odds come out. Props obviously not out quite yet. I don't really rate Barres' wins. The other fight that I broke down was for Ivan Urslan, Jan Kutalaba. Like, do you think this is worth touching, or are you not coming within 10 yards of this one? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to take Ibu in this spot. I just can't trust Ian Kutalaba in a fight that I know the other guy has a better gas tank than him, or he's not going to try to play unless he's a trash wrestler that Ian Kutalaba is going to be able to take advantage of in that first round, like a guy like Tanner Bozer and those types of guys. So I think I'm going to take Ibu I was about to say Ibu Aslan. So I'm going to take Ibu in this spot, but I think the fight to not go to decision is definitely going to be the play in this spot. I don't know what the odds are because we're filming this early and FanDuel doesn't really take out prelim fights odds until later on in the week. So I'm going to take the fight to not go to decision. And yeah, I'm going to take a snap. As long as he ends up being plus money, I want to see if some people notice Ian Kutalaba's name. And just because of that, they'll probably look into look into betting Ian Kutalaba without really doing no research.
Yeah, and he is, dude. We know he's hittable. Ivan Urslan, and yeah, you're right. It's like there's another fighter named Ibo Aslan. So pretty tough there. But Ivan Urslan, and he also, by the way, something I like about him, training with American top teams. So if Kutalaba looks to wrestle, looks to grapple, he's been working. Mr. Plus is back, and perfect timing because I just did the Brasco breakdown, and I picked Mr. Plus Victor Altamirano, and as one play, 2 different separate plays. And my other straight bet is on Ivan Urslan plus 100, taking on Jan Kutalaba in a potential light heavyweight slobber knocker, which I know you love those fights. So give me your take on that one first.
I really do love the Victor Altamirano. You guys know I've picked him before, and I'm
Yeah.
picking him again. He's a volume guy, man, and he's awesome. He's very poppy with his jab and his hooks. He's great on the feet. He's really good against defending takedowns. I'm going with him again, man. I like this spot for him. I think he can get a W. I think the UFC's keeping him around for a reason. And I definitely can see him getting a victory here against Daniel Barres, who, again, this dude from Spain, he's not bad. I don't think he's bad. And listen, if he lose, like if we do take the L, I kind of won't be crazy surprised. But I like Victor Altamirano. I don't know if I'm going to parlay piece him, but the line's basically even, so I'm going to put him at least straight for a unit and a half. I really do like that, Brasco. And then you said who was the other one?
Yeah,
For
so
your
love
next pick?
Altamirano. Yeah, great volume, toughness, cardio. Just the
Oh,
other
the
one,
Urslan.
Ivan
I
Urslan.
got
Yeah.
you. Man, listen, I watched tape on this guy, and he's, he looks scary against the guys that he's fought, and I think he could beat Ion Kutalaba's ass. But Ion's got some experience fighting some decent guys, not necessarily wins fighting these guys, but he definitely has been the UFC for a minute. He always puts on a show at the face-offs where he's decked out like Hulk or staring in your face or screaming in your face. He's very charismatic, which I do like about fighters, and it's always good for the UFC. So are they kind of trying to set him up for a W? I don't know. I kind of lean your side with the Ivan Urslav guy. Not sure about either of these guys. Neither of them from France, by the way. So I don't know who to pick on this one, but I'll side with Brasco.
There we go. I got him on my side. Ivan Urs is a weird one for sure, but we definitely all like Altamirano. That's a play that the show firmly agrees on. There's your Brasco breakdown.
If you look at the under 1.5, ranging in the books early, if you can get in on it, you're looking at about minus 145 to minus 165 right now. Ivan doesn't really get out of the first round, and Ion, if he does, is going to be gassy in that first half of the second round and get starched or starches somebody. So I just think under 1.5 has value.
I agree with that. I think this fight ends by knockout one way or another. That's another thing about Ian Kutalamba. He is totally kill or be killed, bro. If he does get the knockout clip, great. But if not, he's getting slept. It's just
100%. 100%. So I agree with that, Cal. Under 1.5. I don't think this makes it out of the first round. Someone's going night. I think it's Jan Kutelaba. Let's go, Urslan. All right, guys. It's time for the Dogs of the Week. And this week, we got a big one in the main event of the evening. Mr. Plus, are you going with Moicano wants money to get it done?
I have to, man. After this guy, what he did to Jalen Turner, and there's just some guys that he fought in the UFC math for me would give Benoit Saint Denis a problem. Moicano's got this momentum. We are now seeing that the UFC is they're really looking for some power, star power, not just power, star power. Man, we all saw what Dustin did to Benoit Saint Denis. I heard that Moicano through the Matty Bets, we're all a little connected through there. I heard that this guy's been training with the right people, people that have fought him already, people that have beat him already. Yeah, man, I gotta go with Moicano, the plus money. I know you guys are probably all going to have Benoit Saint Denis to finish your parlays out there. Man, this is a great hedge spot. I'm telling you right now, this could go either way, and the line doesn't say it. I think the minus whatever 230 is too fucking wide for Benoit Saint Denis to be that big of a favorite coming off that big knockout L when he was a minus 250 favorite against Diamond. He should have never been that big of a favorite. I think this is another spot. I think Moicano's got great fight IQ. He's my dog of the week, man. I'm at least going a unit on him.
A unit on money, Moicano. Huge fight here in the lightweight division. And man, I'll say this much.
Yo, we just got Christian by fucking round 2 plus 1,000 or plus 600, bro, and by fucking submission. Yo, that was so gay. Oh my god, I got
Kevin Christian just won.
Christian just won in the second round. I had him by round 2 plus 600 or 700. I had him by sub plus 250, 260. Holy shit, we just cashed out.
Bro, good for you. I had Mazeo, so I lost, but I'm happy you won.
Oh, yeah, I think he almost had him in the first press. You already know how this fight was. Either he wins in the first round by knockout or Christian wins in the second round by sub. That's why
Wow.
I had him here. Yeah, triangle into armbar.
Oh my
Crazy.
God. I can't wait to watch that back. Contender Series week 7 right now. We're watching. Bets are in. All right. There you go, Mr. Plus. Cash it on that one.
Sorry
That's
about
awesome.
that, everybody.
No, that's awesome. But back to the main event here. Slick, I mean, I'll say this much. I'm not betting this fight. I think the line is too wide. I think minus 285 Saint Denis for the jiu-jitsu threat and the experience level that Moicano has and the toughness. I mean, it's tough. I know Moicano's been getting dropped by Jalen Turner, and he's been getting hurt by other guys. We were talking on the live earlier today. Rafael Fiziev clipped him up, right? He's hittable. He's shown that he's hittable. But he's also shown amazing recovery ability and just such crafty jiu-jitsu. So I worry about Saint Denis coming off the head kick knockout and inviting the grappling with his pressure and pace over and over again. Will he put himself, if he's taking him down, pouring on the pressure, looking to drown Saint Denis like he does to guys, will he put himself in a compromising position that he can't get out of? What do you think about the matchup?
I can't hear you.
I can't. Oh, he's muted again. The dreaded mute button just hitting Slick up.
I'm gonna have to go with Saint Denis in this spot. I really am. I really think that the difference between Saint Denis and those other guys that you mentioned is that whenever Moicano did get knocked out, guys were able to follow up and smoke him. And if my thing is that if Saint Denis hurts him on the feet and he gets down to the ground, I just don't think Saint Denis is gonna be able to be scared of Moicano's defensive grappling. I think by the time he tries to get the grappling on, he's probably going to take a lot of shots. And I understand your idea of the Moicano recoverability, but let's keep it real. If Jalen Turner would have followed up with anything in that first round with them last couple seconds left, Moicano would have been way more hurt in that second round. Moicano would have Jalen Turner can't stuff a takedown to save his life. And the one thing that we know about Saint Denis is that, man, he's going to implement them body kicks. And that's one concern for me in the sense that Moicano keeps his hands up high. He tries to keep that high guard to block the 1-2 combo. So I'm going to go with Saint Denis in the spot, but this is definitely not no hammer spot for me. I'm respecting Moicano. Moicano has been on, I would say, that little aura. You know, like he's just one of those guys that you just can't bet against. So I'll probably include Saint Denis like a 1-unit parlay. But the fights that I go to distance, if I get any good price on it, man, am I going to parlay that shit.
Yeah, I do not see this one making the final scorecards either. I think someone's going to get hurt. I think they're both going to go for it. Saint Denis looking to put on a show in Paris. You know that he does not back down from a nasty fight, and Moicano will welcome one too. I'm staying on the sidelines, man. I like Plus's take. I like Slick's take. I can see both guys succeeding, man. This is going to be a good one. I'm not sure if it's too big of a favorite for a guy in Moicano that is still new to MMA. You know what I mean? Like, not Moicano, excuse me, Saint Denis. That's still fairly new to MMA versus Moicano, who's just been in the game for so long at this level.
Yo, they both just won grappling matches after their last fights, by the way. Like both of these guys been super active. So, you know, Benoit Saint Denis, I believe, beat Mark Giacchis in a grappling match. So for to get back in the win column that way, against a wrestler, I think is pretty good. But I still gotta ride the Moicano wave, and figure that, you know, the UFC does like these big mouths on the microphone at the end of the fights, and, you know, bro, those guys sell tickets.
Yeah. So you're back in the star power of Moicano. You're back in the jiu-jitsu player, the money Moicano hype train, and maybe if he gets it done again as a dog, like, what will they say then? As he says, I cannot afford to lose, Joe Rogan. I cannot afford to lose. No, he's funny, man. All right, there's your main event take, and that's Mr. Plus's dog of the week at like plus 235 right now. That's awesome if that cashes. Slick, who's your dog of the week? Dude, what is this mute button has knocked you out at this point? That's like a 4-piece combo.
This is just not gonna be a hot take. Honestly, I'll probably throw like $50 on this bet, but I'm gonna take Daria Kova. Like, I'm not even gonna try to say that last name.
I got you.
You know, I'm gonna go with Kova in this spot. This is just a fight that I believe if she's able to stuff some type of takedowns, she's gonna style on Eileen Perez on the feet. And I'm just fading the twerker. Like I understand people want to see her win to see her twerk, but she sucks. I don't know what the fuck she became. She became Khabib Nurmagomedov, the fake version, because like her ground and pound was atrocious like 2 fights ago. She couldn't do shit to Jocelyn Edwards, even though she got 10 takedowns. I really believe she sucks. So I'm gonna take a small plus money shot on Daria Kova.
I love it. The name is Daria as a Bond villain. Zhelezhnakova.
Slick's Dog of the Week brought to you by Hennessy.
There's your sponsorship coming through. Yeah, you need to do that, Cal. Just out of nowhere, just when there's like a moment of silence, just drop like an ad sponsor. It can be fake. It can be Hennessy. It can be you, company watching right now.
That was hilarious. Yeah,
that's amazing. Hennessy, call us. All right, Daria. Yeah, I don't know, Slick. I mean, it's a weird one. If Perez striking stinks, so this fight is on the feet. She might be piecing her up, but she's just got the big booty, the thick legs, the physicality to drive through and use her grappling. Plus, I feel like Perez is going to win, just making it boring. What do you think?
I do too. Give me the twerk girl, man. Yo, she's got thighs like Saquon. Zhelezhnakova has no shot here. I know her 9-1 record looks promising, and I get it, but I can't go against this Argentinian girl. To be honest, Argentina is now stepping up. They're especially like even today with this Vallejos kid from the Contender Series, who whooped ass, by the way. He won in the first round by knockout. I mean, I think Argentina in the next 3 to 5 years is going to have some up and comers, some big names. We saw Ribovic the other day, and now I think we're going to see the twerk girl get more clout, more twerk action. Give us the twerk with the thick thighs.
There you go. It's that simple. Hey, man, you talk about good for the UFC. That's good for the UFC. All right. Funny enough, I actually agree. I think that gets it done. All right. Next fight, or no, excuse me, my dog of the week. And it's one we already covered. I'm going Steamroller Frivola. I mean, for the culture, for the Darce podcast culture, and would love the matchup. Fares Ziam, come on, man. Get that out of here, bro. Fares, no power, not going to be able to get the respect. Frivola's bringing the fight to his face, and he's going to end up taking it over at some point, I think early. All right, guys, let's build ourselves a Darce parlay. Who's that? And let's lace it up with the first leg. Slick, starting us off early. I think this is the second fight of the night. Who do you got?
Yeah, we're going to go for a girl that already cashed one of our Darce parlays last time. We're going to go with Jacqueline Cavalcanti in this spot. I understand, she's taking this fight on short notice. She actually fought Nora Corno already. She basically dominated the first 2 rounds, hurt Nora Corno, had her wobbly a couple times in the first 2 rounds. And then now she fought a pretty dangerous striker in Josiane Nunes. And that fight actually, for me, showed me more than anything because that fight, she didn't engage in no brawls. She played the fight how she wanted to play the fight. She put it on her terms. She implemented all types of strikes to the body, to the legs. She threw like 33 leg kicks. And she had great defense in that fight. I want to know the name of the judge that gave 30-27 to Josiane Nunes and actually had me skip a heartbeat because I know I had Jacqueline Cavalcanti in the Darce parlay. We had her, I think I had her like in a 2-unit parlay. So I need to know who that judge is because that should have been clear 29-28 or 30-27 Jacqueline. So give us our girl, Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I think she styles on Nora on this spot. And I'll be a little worrisome if you want to take the over 2.5 in this spot. I think Jacqueline has been evolved, has matured a lot more, has shown that she's willing to wait a lot more than her Nora Corno fight. There was a couple of instances that she tried to like attack the finish, but Nora Corno toughed it out and got like the clinch going. So give me Jacqueline, and I wouldn't be surprised if she gets the KO in this spot.
Interesting. Jacqueline maybe coming into her own. Hey, I will say one thing about this. Yes, she just cashed us a Darce parlay a month ago when she was on a card getting that win over Josiane Nunes 4 weeks ago. This is a quick turnaround for her. So I heard one analyst speculate that maybe it's because it's in Europe, right? She's a Portuguese fighter. Maybe it's a convenient turnaround for her to just stay within the continent.
And also, you got to think about it. This is why I picked, and even though that fight was a hell of a fight, but that's why I picked Joshua Van. Jacqueline Cavalcanti, she's already used to this weight. She doesn't really have to cut too much weight to get to this. She's a slinky girl. She doesn't really have that much muscle on her. So I think she's just taking this fight because she knows the weight cut is going to be easy. She takes advantage of the fight being in her close to her hometown. So what more, man? You can get another paycheck.
There you go. Plus, you're a fan of Cavalcante as well, yeah?
I am a fan of Cavalcanti. I'm just not sure about this fight. Both of these girls have taken fights on short notice before, and cornhole.
Putting on a cornhole clinic.
That's what I'm going to call her. When she fought on short notice, she had back-to-back knockouts, which is insane. In the same week, I believe. So that's crazy. Cavalcanti, man, you're right, Slick. She did look like she clearly won that last fight. That was just a different style fighter. This girl's almost as big as her. This is going to be different. That was a great reach advantage. This is like 2 or 3 inches. This is nothing. Man, I don't know.
She fought cornhole already.
I feel like the cornhole has way more camp. That's all I'm worried about. She has way more camp, way more practicing, way more dummy fights. And Cavalcanti is just coming off of that dub, like Brasco said 4 weeks ago. A month isn't that much time. I get it, staying in the same continent, even close country, but it's just, I don't know. I'm a little worried about it, and maybe this is one of the French fighters that could win. If I have to pick it, I might lean the cornhole side, but I'm undecided, and obviously I want to win the Darce parlay. I'm going to have money on it regardless, so I hope we win, and I hope I'm completely wrong with my take. Let's go, Slick.
The man says cornhole. The man says cornhole. Cavalcante's a stud. Cavalcante's going to cash on this. If that she's going to be just good for the Darce. Don't listen to Mr. Punk on this one.
My name
that makes me feel a lot better, Cal. Thank you.
Beavis and Butthead.
My name is Cornholio.
That's what that made me think of. She is a French fighter that has gotten a cheeky split decision win that I didn't think she deserved over Jocelyn Edwards. It's one of her wins. And Slick, I saw you about to jump in to say it, so I'll let you take over. But when Jacqueline Cavalcanti was 1-0 and Nora Cornole, I think that's how you say it, was 0-0, they fought. And Jacqueline Cavalcanti beat her by decision. So this is actually a rematch from like the beginning, the seedlings of their career. It's like, did you watch that fight? Is there tape on it?
Yeah, I actually seen that fight, and that's why I said don't be a little worrisome if Cavalcanti gets the KO, because that fight was close to 2020, 2021. Nora Cornhole close to 35 years old. Cavalcanti is damn near in her prime. So, hey, man, she's 20. Like I said, 3 more years. She's going to more than likely watch that tape and figure out where she has success in. And Nora Cornhole, if Cavalcanti has a good underrated grappling edge. So, if she wants to, we've seen Jocelyn Edwards get 5 takedowns for almost 8 minutes of control time in that fight. So she was in some deep, like I think Edwards had her in the deep rear naked choke, and she got out of it. So hey man, I understand your perspective of Nora Cornhole, but I'm just not too impressed. And then she fought her last fight, she got a knockout against a grappler that didn't get no grappling going, no wrestling going, and then she ends up getting knocked out. So that was expected.
I just want to be clear. I'm going with you anyway, Slick. I am behind the Darce podcast. I'm going with Slick. I'm just trying to play a little bit of devil's advocate here because we're not going to be on the same side every pick. And, the cornhole last name is throwing me off. I just don't know what's going on right now.
Spot brought to you by American Cornhole League.
Brought to you by backyards and barbecues around America.
And all whiskeys of America.
Yeah. We spent more time on Nora Cornole and Jacqueline Cavalcanti than the main event. I will say this though, Cornole about to turn 35. Cavalcanti just turned 27. Kind of like the Cavalcanti there. She's the first leg of the Darce anyway. We're rocking with it, Slick. My leg is Umar Sy. Chalk. I know. I'm going with an easy one this week, guys. I'll let Slick and Mr. Plus do the heavy lifting for the parlay leg odds. But I'm going with Umar Sy. Excuse me. I think he's got the grappling advantage in this matchup. He's a huge favorite for a reason. Umar Sy, French fighter that I think will show out on in front of the hometown fans. Taking on Da Woon Jung, a guy that's gotten submitted before. In fact, in his last fight, he let Carlos Olberg rear naked choke him. I mean, the city kickboxing striker put him away with a rear naked choke. We've seen him get out grappled before, and I think Umar Sy is perfect candidate to do it to him. So I'll keep it short and sweet. That's that. I think he could beat him with ground and pound or a choke. Give me Umar Sy inside the distance as well. Roll over onto the next leg. Well, Mr. Plus, you can react to that. What do you think about him?
Da Woon Jung's on his way out of the UFC. I'm going to tell you right now. This is probably his last fight. If he has extension on his contract, okay, great. But I think this is it for him. I agree with you. I'm all over Sy. Sy's the next gen of this weight class. You got to be 6'4", ripped, and just make weight, and then you could have a day and a half of gaining all of that weight back and coming into the octagon at 230, bro. This guy is enormous. Yeah, I'm scared of him. I think he could give Alex Pereira a run for the money. I'm just saying, Sy is a freaking monster. Let him get 2 or 3 or 4 more wins and then work his way up. I like to see him fight Olberg, but maybe that's the next or the next after. We'll have to wait and see.
Wow, super high on Umar Sy. Slick, are you as high as Mr. Plus is on him?
I remember Umar Sy was my leg of the Darts parlay, another guy that cashed for us already in this year. So Umar Sy off. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Fake Da Woon Jung till he's out of the UFC. Give me Umar Sy.
There you go. Good vibes. Cavalcante, Sy, guys have gotten it done already for us. So Mr. Plus, close it out for us. Plus 179. Who's the last leg?
I already gave you guys this leg in the plus bus. He's my anchor to every single parlay. He's my lock of the week. There's no way he loses. I'm going Brian Battle because Kevin Jousset is not battle tested, and he's about to be. And man, this is one of my favorite fighters. This guy is so game, so ready. With the lengthy punches, with the lengthy kicks, coming in close with elbows, and then also, like Slick told us before, the BJJ experience is just off the charts for this guy, for his division. And when you're that lanky, it's even easier to put things together, like triangles. I love this guy, man. Give me Brian Battle to close out the Darts this week.
Boom. I love that as the last leg, main card fight. And we can look forward to a hard-nosed guy that, like we always like to say, will fight for your money. Brian Battle. Battle tested. I love it, Mr. Plus. Let's go. It's Cash the Darts for the people this week. Guys, we haven't talked about the co-main event of the evening, and it's actually my favorite fight on the card. We have Nasruddin Imavov, minus 215, against Brendan All-In Allen, plus 180. And the winner of this fight enters the middleweight title picture that is shifting. Dricus is champ. He's defended it. Izzy's reign is over. Cannonier sort of out of the picture now. Kyle Baralho, the new young threat. Imavov feeling like the potential contender that's been around but hasn't gotten his chance yet. And I think with a win here, he's right there. You kind of got to give him his opportunity. I'll go first. I think Imavov gets past Allen. I know a lot of people are going to like Allen as the dog, and I'll hear a great case for it, I'm sure. I just think Allen, who's a dangerous, lethal grappler with the submissions, has kind of fallen in love with his striking, and his kickboxing has really improved. But I think it'll be a mistake to engage in a striking affair with Nasruddin Imavov, a guy that's super sharp, bouncy, measured in space, and in a 3-round fight is probably his best. We saw him putting it on Chris Curtis, who recently fought Brendan Allen, in a 3-rounder that before that fight stopped due to an accidental clash of heads. And I just think Imavov is at his sharpest right now. I had Jared Cannonier. I bet against Imavov, and although that was an early stoppage in that last fight, it was kind of impressive to see Imavov walking down a power puncher like Cannonier. It might have been 2-2 going into the 5th, and who knows how that fight would have played out. But I was just impressed by Imavov being able to stand up to Cannonier's power and even put him on his back foot. So I'm impressed with the makeup of Imavov right now, guys. And I think he gets past Brendan Allen. All he's got to do is kind of stay safe, and stay off his back. And I think he can get it done. Slick, I'll throw it to you first. Who do you think wins in this middleweight matchup?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Island in the spot. I just feel as though that if this fight gets anywhere close, they might try. I think Island might get the grappling going, and I honestly think that in that fight against Chris Curtis, he really didn't implement no grappling in that spot because he just tried to prove a point. A lot of people thought that in that first fight against Chris Curtis, that Allen really couldn't compete on the feet with him. So he said in the second fight, I'm gonna just totally abandon that whole game plan and let's just fight on the feet. I think Imavov is definitely a good striker in the spot, and he's going to be able to take advantage of Allen's not so good defense. So I'm gonna just go to the well. I'm gonna lean Allen, probably bet him a half a unit, but the over 2.5 for fights in top 10 middleweights, like I told Brasco earlier in this year. In this year, other than Drickus fights, other than that Izzy fight, and when he has fought top 10 guys, the fights have been going to decision at an 80% clip. Like it's crazy. Like before that Izzy Alex Pereira era, the fights have been going all the way. So I'm gonna take the over 2.5, and it's a little bit I would say undervalued, maybe because bookmakers looking at Allen's fight with his Chris Curtis before that when he was getting a lot of finishes. So and then Imavov getting to finish his last fight. So over 2.5 at -150, I think it's a good spot for it. So I'm gonna take the over 2.5, and I'm gonna lean Allen as like a half a unit dog.
Okay, so leaning to the dog in the over. Middleweight fights, over is hitting at a heavy clip. I like it slick. If we see solid odds for, something around -140, -150 for the over 2.5, I might like that because at 80%, I mean, you're looking at great betting math there. Mr. Plus, what do you think about this matchup? The odds are interesting to me.
Well, you know what? This fight is going to be number one electric. I'm excited for it. This is, like you said, Brasco, this could be one of my favorite fights on the card, if not my favorite. I mean, I think I like the battle fight more because I love battle more than I like these guys. But this is a great fight. Whoever wins, like you said, is right at the top for title contention. Man, I'm a little confused by it. The line's a little weird. The fact that Brendan Allen's getting this plus money with this momentum and how good he's looked. And yeah, you're right. It's not just his grappling anymore. Now he's loving his striking. He's loving what he's doing. Man, it's a little bit, man, teeter-totter as far as what side I'm on. I'll tell you though, the karate style, the bouncy karate style of Imavov is just absolutely fun, electric, nonstop. He's bro, he never gets tired on his feet. It's pretty amazing. I love to watch him in that karate stance. But I think I got to side with Brendan Allen. His fight IQ. I think
Let's
that's what's going to take
go.
him to the promised land here. It's the fight IQ. I don't think it's the bouncy style. I think it's avoiding the big strikes on the feet, taking down when he needs to, and then controlling the fight. I think he's going to be the stronger human in the octagon. If you take someone down and you're stronger, you're holding them down, you're keeping them down, especially if you're nonstop submissions like Brendan Allen will just try to submit him in 5 or 6 different ways before they even get back on their feet. So I got to side with the Brendan Allen side, and I don't know if I'm going to bet it. Like I'm excited to watch this one. Don't know if I'm going to throw an actual bet out there. If anything, I see some value on the dog, but
There you go.
kind of staying away from this one, boys. Just going to enjoy it.
Cal, I hear you pumping your fist vocally, so to speak, and I know that you are taking a chance on Brendan Allen as well. You want to make a case for the dog?
Yeah, a little bit less of a chance, more a bit just the numbers again. I'm going to take my Norma Dumont approach and try to numbers this for you guys. It's a little bit contradictory to what Slick said because in the last fight with Allen, we'll show you how many takedowns he actually did get. First, let's start with Imavov. He's a point-style fighter, stand-up, high volume, serviceable wrestling. He really is. I'm high on this guy. The only thing about him is he was exposed by Phil Haas early in his UFC career, taking down 4 of 7 takedown shots. Since then, he's pretty much fought strikers. And when he did fight Strickland shot one of his only takedowns in the UFC. Only one shot he shot, and he landed it and took him down. Cannonier, a kickboxer, one shot, landed it, took him down. So for me, Imavov is solid wrestling on the offensive, but his defensive wrestling is not quite there. And Allen actually was calling for a 5-rounder. Even Imavov wants a 3-rounder.
Yeah.
This plays into a grappler who wants to go heavy on the grappling. So for me, if we look at that, those are some of the numbers we look at. If you have Allen in his last fight, he actually fights Chris Curtis, who had almost a 90% takedown defense. He dodged that down to 83% takedown defense now because he took it down 6 times. So for me, with Allen, with a high-level jiu-jitsu, solid wrestling, underrated boxing, I don't suggest staying on the feet with Imavov, and I don't think he will. He showed in his last fight that he has fight IQ and he wants to win, and he's got a fucking chip on his shoulder. He's talked about it time and time again. He's really pissed off with being overlooked, undervalued. Coming out of Kill Cliff FC, give me Brendan Allen plus 170 dog of the week, and to do the Cal one on the 1s and 2s, look at Brendan Allen. 3+ takedowns.
Where do you bet that prop?
You'll probably get that on DraftKings. You'll be able to get it. It's probably going to sit around like two takedowns or whatever it is. But that's where I would look at it.
Dope. And interestingly enough, well, good breakdown, man. Look, and we talked about last week, the 3v1, and Mr. Plus was the only one on Valentina Shevchenko. I said sometimes it's like that Mario Party game, right? And you're the one and you try to eat up everyone and take their coins and shit. Sometimes you end up winning. Sometimes the 3 beat up on you and you're like, damn, why you run me for all my coins? Looks like I'm the 1v3 this time, and yikes, I'm feeling nervous about Imavov. Hey, I'm not parlaying him at minus 215. I'm just predicting him. I think the fellows are right in terms of betting value. It's on Allen. It's an interesting fight now, and they make a good case for him. I'll be excited to see props like that come out, Cal, on DraftKings, which are now available to a lot more people. I used to have none of those available, but books are really opening up UFC betting options. So that's a lot of fun. All right, man. Good looks, good cases from the fellas. Let's get into the honorable mentions. Mr. Plus,
I just sneezed 6 times in a row. Just want you guys to know that.
Good. I'm glad you're still with us. Time for the honorable mentions. I'm glad you muted as well. And we have to talk about only a couple fights that we haven't talked about. And let's start with the first one. Balaji Oki taking on Chris Duncan. First fight of the night. Oki is minus 190. Chris Duncan plus 160. Odds a little wider than I expected. Oki's second UFC fight here, and he won his first by split decision over Timmy Kwamba in a pretty close one. Chris Duncan, been in the UFC, has some wins, right? He beat Yanal Ashmuz, who looks like a solid fighter. Broke his forearm, I think, in the first round with a kick that he blocked. So Duncan, we know about his power. We know about, his Contender Series fight where he got the comeback win, starched to do Charlie Campbell, I believe that was. But I don't know, man. It's like, do you think Oki deserves to be the minus 190 favorite? Like, I'm not interested in touching this fight, but I can see Duncan just being like a step slower. He's kind of like plodding and slow for this division.
Yeah, that's going to be the one concern on Duncan in this spot. I just, like you say, he's going to be the more slower puncher in this spot. And another concern that I have with him is just his striking defense. Like, this guy block punches with his face. He's been playing trying to play a little bit more technical, try to play the wrestling clinch game a little bit more in his last 2 fights. And, other than that Torres fight before that. So I just think that's a recipe for disaster against a guy like Bolaji that really doesn't try to play that clinch game. He knows how to get out of that. He knows how to just dictate the pace. And even in that Kwamba fight, you have to, without a doubt, you have to say Kwamba has twice as much durability than Chris Duncan in this spot. So I'm going to go Balaji Oki, probably make him like a 1-unit parlay piece or something.
Yeah, and I remember, plus, you were on Timmy Kwamba. You were high on him. He made that a close fight, crafty kind of guy, and Oki had to get past him. So maybe we rate that win decently, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess a little bit decently, but it could have gone any way to me. That was a weird decision. Okay, so I was going Kwamba the whole time, obviously biased, and I had bets on it, but Oki didn't show me really enough. So I'm going to do something that I used to do or did in that last fight. I'm going to fade Oki again. I'm going Chris Duncan. You want to give me a guy with more experience that's a little bit better almost everywhere. Oki has more power. That might be about it. Chris Duncan has better fight IQ. He's a better fighter in there. I like Chris Duncan. You're going to give me fucking plus money, huge plus money on Chris Duncan because Oki's jacked and has blonde hair sometimes. Fuck that shit. I'm taking Chris Duncan to the fucking bank, plus money to start the night. I would say half unit at most.
There you go. Little sprinkle. On Chris Duncan for Mr. Plus, yeah, I'm staying off this one. I guess I'll predict Oki, but I don't love it. Because the odds are just weird to me. Sometimes it's like the gross favorite. You're like, why is he the favorite? Like odds makers must know something. I guess I'll take it.
We
But
should have a
Mr. Plus,
sign for the most boring fight of the night, like that, and it's the next one. I bet the Lapalus fight. Oh God.
two more to talk about. We'll go to that one next. Taylor Lapalus taking on Vince Morales. This is actually an interesting fight to me. I feel like the odds are a little bit wide. We know Lapalus is a measured kickboxer. He can fight kind of boring and technical sometimes, like Mr. Plus is alluding to. French hometown fighter. I cashed on him by decision a couple times. He just kind of outpoints guys, right? Cody Stamen, he was able to get a good win over him, show his kickboxing. He's got wrestling as well. Morales is a guy that has struggled a bit with the UFC, but he went away and rebuilt himself, and he's built a little 5-fight win streak together, 4 of those by finish. I'm not rating his opponents all that highly. I just feel like he might bring the fire a little bit. Maybe he's back at the peak of his game and brings something to Lapalus that makes him fight in a nastier fight than he wants to be in. I don't know. I don't like the minus 355 on Lapalus. Does he deserve to be that, Mr. Plus?
Bro, I am not laying that kind of juice on a boring decision fighter. It's never going to happen. I love Vince Morales in this spot, bro. Plus, huge money. He's coming off these great fights from the circuit and the regional scene. Bro, this guy is just, look at his last finishes. Submission, KO, one decision, KO. Bro, yo, I'll take that all fucking day against boring Lapalus. However, he's minus 350 for a reason. Stronger man inside the octagon. Gonna kind of do the boring shit that he wants to do. Don't get me wrong. This could be one of the French winners on the most boring fight of the night. So what you do is you take Lapalus by decision, which is probably plus money, and then you take Morales double chance, which is probably plus money, and you kind of double dip and then go take a Henny break and just enjoy the fights.
I like that. Those are the outcomes I see. Either Lapalus takes it to decision, wins 30-27, 29-28, or Morales finishes him with an upset submission or a knockout that starches him. I kind of like it. It's like Morales' UFC losses before he went away and now came back. Song Yadong, Chris Gutierrez leg kicked the shit out of him. Benito Lopez, that one doesn't look great, I guess, but he's a decent fighter. Jonathan Martinez, Dragon Martinez. And Miles Johns. Not a great loss, but Miles Johns is a good fighter. So I don't know. Are we down on Morales or does he have a chance here?
I'm actually real high on Lapalus in this spot. I'm really high on Lapalus. I understand Mr. Plus fights are boring, but the guy fights wrestlers that can't take him down and he outclasses them on the feet. Can't help it, man. Now he's fighting a guy that's I wouldn't even say that he's been doing good on the outside because, like, he's getting Peruvian neckties, Darce chokes against guys that's taking him down. That's one thing Lapalus is not going to do is try to take him down in this spot. Lapalus is going to implement his long-range striking. Vince Morales is going to try to keep going in. And a guy that just has a good jab, like Miles Johns, that has the same reach advantage of him, unlike Lapalus that has a way better reach than him. Like, the guy was just able to jab him to death. And that's the concern, man. Now you got a guy that's perfect at the jab, perfect at staying long. I think this is a great spot for Lapalus. And this is just a fight that, me personally, the UFC scene, Vince Morales has gotten good wins outside the UFC. Lapalus needed a fighter to fight in France. Now they get Vince Morales. You want to come back real quick and lose and make a nice paycheck? So give me Lapalus, man. I think Lapalus could really make noise in this spot.
There you go, French fighter.
I met Lapalus' older brother at the Hard Rock at the steak spot. His older brother, Angel Lusa. Both of them as boring as they fucking come, Slick.
They're not brothers. They're just.
And I'll take that boring play, and we'll go death taxes 2 units on Lapalus by decision.
Death taxes Lapalus decision is probably
if you don't fall asleep, you'll cash that ticket, Cal.
That's probably the play, man. Leg kick.
My favorite, waking up with cash.
I love it too. There's nothing more that I like than watching my fighters land strikes on the guard and the other fighter does not respond. And they're like, I'm winning. Win that exchange. I win that exchange. And like nothing's even happening. I'm like, I'm winning a safe fight. I love this. Always a good time. It's like betting a guy on a spar and one guy just being like, all right, you land. I'll just play defense. And
I'm like screaming at my TV, fire him, Dana. Fire him. Like, no, never.
Love catching a good decision spar. And we have one more to talk about. Biggest favorite on the card. Two more to talk about. What am I forgetting? First one.
You got the Share and you got the Ludovic Klein.
Who? Should we talked about
my bad. I might not have been there. I'm on Sharier all day.
No. We did not talk about that one. So you're right. Two more. Two biggest favorites on the card. We'll go to that one first, Mr. Plus, because it's on the main card. It's Morgan Charrier. What is it? The last pirate? Gangster pirate? French pirate? I don't know. Morgan Jack Sparrow Charrier taking on Gabriel Miranda on short notice. A guy who I once went to his Tapology page to research him, and one of his fights said, "We cannot verify the validity of this fight." It was like sketch city, like someone did steroids or the fight promotion was fixed. Whenever you see like warnings like that on a fighter's page, you're like, yeah, you're sketchy. And yes, he ended up losing. He does have dangerous jiu-jitsu, but it's like Morgan Charrier is minus 700 for a reason. Is he body kicking him in the first round for a finish?
Yeah, he's body kicking him, man. I think Morgan Charrier, Gabriel Miranda is also coming in on short notice. I believe he's coming in like on 2-week short notice. Morgan Charrier, honestly, you could arguably say he has been the only person to have a close fight with Chepe Mariscal, and that fight was bananas. So I'm gonna take Morgan Charrier KO in front of the. And last time he fought in Paris, he has gotten the KO. So I'm gonna go again. Gabriel Miranda is a grappler that if he doesn't get the grappling going, he will be a fish out of water on the feet. We see Benoit Saint Denis smoke him on the feet. So I'm not saying Charrier is Benoit Saint Denis, but when it comes to a guy that doesn't have no striking defense, no striking abilities, I'm going to take Morgan Charrier.
Yeah, I think he's going to smoke him, Mr. Plus. That fight with Chepe Mariscal was a close one. Actually, Charrier closed in the books as a big favorite live, and then Chepe got the decision. So it was a one that a lot of people were pissed about. I had Chepe. I felt lucky because I kind of leaned Charrier watching it unbiased the second time back. What do you think about this one? What do you think about Charrier?
I had Chepe as well, and I'm like you. I was scared. Charrier showed me a lot there, and he showed me that he's a dog, and he can fucking fight. And this guy is electric. And this is one of the French men that the France people can be proud of. This guy is special. He's tatted up. He's been a champion before in the regional scene. Give me Morgan Charrier by destruction. I'm going to put him probably by knockout because I think he wants to show out. I think he wants to do this on the feet. So, but I might put a double chance as a parlay piece. Not sure yet, but I'm gonna work him into a couple parlays for sure. Love Charrier.
I love it inside the distance by knockout because Miranda's on 2 weeks' notice. The grappler, how do you win? You go for it in the first round. If you don't get it, well, I tried, guys. Second round knockout. So
you get knocked out. That's what happens in the second round.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And then one more for the podcast here before we close out and say goodbye. We got the biggest favorite of the night, Ludovic Klein, minus 1,000, fighting. Why? Why is he fighting?
Robert.
Why is he fighting backwards? Who is he fighting? Roosevelt Roberts, Ultimate Fighter name that we had to pull in a hat and grab out of nowhere, who lost to Austin Hubbard and now is back here. I just don't get it. He has decent boxing skill, but Klein's going to starch him. No, I mean, Slick, how quick will this fight end, or how do you see it going?
Yeah, I'm going to bet this fight to end in the first round. The only way you're able to not get knocked out by Klein is if you're able to get the wrestling going. We've seen a good enough not credentialed, but good enough wrestler, grappler, and Thiago Moises not able to get nothing going on Ludovic Klein in that. I don't think Roosevelt Roberts, he's more of a striker that has some type of grappling and wrestling in his background. But I really, like I told you this morning, I think Roosevelt Roberts probably be, if I'm not mistaken, the first guy to lose twice by head kick in the UFC. Got smoked by Ignacio Bahamondes, and Ludovic Klein probably becomes the second.
I was just going to say that. I think he's either going to get like choked like crazy, like some crazy anaconda or guillotine, or he gets head kicked. I think it's going to be a vicious, savage finish. Mr. Plus, what do you think?
I thought Bahamondes turned him into a cripple there.
Oh my God.
I think, Cal, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cal, I think a head kick is crazy. This guy is fucking so much fucking smaller than Roosevelt, whatever the hell his name is. And listen, I think Klein gets the job done. I think he brings it in a little bit closer and gets an uppercut or a body shot. Bro, Ludovic Klein is so powerful and so well put together. However, the height and reach advantage is in Roosevelt's favor, although the reach advantage is only an inch or two, and this guy's 8 inches taller. Like, how does that even make sense? Is it in the legs? Where is it? Where's the advantage? I don't think there's any advantage. I think Ludovic Klein by destruction is the play. However, head kick, like my boys just said, wow, if you could reach someone that's 6'2's face at 5'7", that is super impressive. I would love to see it. That would be a crazy highlight knockout for him. And I do think he gets a knockout. I just don't know how he does it. I think he gets in close, body, uppercut, right cross, something like that. Big overhand right. Don't get me wrong. Ludovic Klein is a play. By knockout might even be the play, but I'm just saying by head kick might be a little crazy, guys. He's way shorter. He's like an Oompa Loompa versus Willy Wonka.
It's gonna be right, fake the left. Roosevelt Roberts gonna dip to the left. Boom, head kick.
I can't wait to cash it because I'm taking Ludovic Klein by knockout.
Bro, let me direct you to his fight tape against João Paulo Rodriguez on the regional scene before he came to the UFC. Vicious Ludovic Klein head kick knockout. He's got it in him, bro. And you might be right. We saw him pouring on damage against poor AJ Cunningham. Guy's tough as nails, but uppercuts were landing, like Mr. Plus said. And then he ultimately finished him with a body kick because the kid just wouldn't go away. My God, he took so much damage. Ludovic Klein should pour it on here.
It could be a neck kick if we're being completely correct here on the.
Plus, you bring up something really interesting that they have about the same reach, yet Ludovic Klein is 5'7" to Roosevelt Roberts 6'2". That's always tricky. Like when you're fighting a guy that's shorter than you, but the boxing range is the same. You're like, what's good with that, right? You expect to be able to just keep them at range, but all of a sudden, you're just trading at the same distance, and despite being a much taller and sizable person, it's odd kind of guy to go up against.
Oh yeah, problems can ensue, 100%.
There you go. We've done it. We're back. We took our sweet time on these fights, and I love it. Got the analysis out on every single fight on this UFC Fight Night Paris card from the fellas. We got a Mr. Plus parlay bust. We got a Slick report. We got a Brasco breakdown. We got some takes from my guy Cal on the ones and twos, and we got a plus 179 Darce parlay along with some dogs worth taking a look at. So fast forward, rewind, watch it all back. Hopefully you got some good information on these fights. Mr. Plus, give us some final words for UFC Paris.
Well, we're going to Paris, but we're betting against a lot of the Frenchmen, if you know what I mean. So be careful with these bets, boys. Never bet above your means. If you're losing and then you're mad, that means you're not having fun, and this is supposed to be fun. So put a little bit of money on the games, on the fights, in this sense, but don't do anything that's going to make you upset. Let's have some fun. Let's cash some tickets. Guys, if you got to go half unit on everything, do it. It is what it is. Football's back. There's never been a better time to join the Darsh podcast. Hit that subscribe. Hit the notifications. Like all our shit. Comment. Get the vibes going, boys.
There we go. And great ethos, too. I love that, right? Be responsible. Football season's in action. There's so much to bet on, so manage your units, guys. You want to bet a lot? Then bet the right amount that lets you bet a lot, right? If you're throwing $1,000 at everything and you got $2,000 in your account, you're shit out of luck. Let's play the long game. Let's throw a little of that, little of this, and have some fun. Make it a good time, like Plus said. Slick, give me a prediction. What will be fight of the night on Paris?
I'm gonna go with the main event. The main event is just a recipe for fight of the night. If it even goes to 5 rounds, the main event is just looking perfect. Even the co-main event, man. The co-main event could be a main event on a fight night, or just a random card outside in the States. So, yeah, man, I'm pumped.
Sneaky good card. I'll see you guys for the daytime action. Don't miss it. Fight starting in the afternoon for a European card, and hopefully we can cash you guys some tickets. Thanks for watching the Darce podcast. On behalf of myself, Mr. Plus, Slick Montana, and Cal on the ones and twos, hit the like on the way out. Leave us a comment, and we'll see you next week. Peace. Bonjour.